The Five Eyes Alliance, those guardians of global security from the UK, US, Canada, Australia and New Zealand, has sounded the alarm. More and more children are becoming radicalised. Concerns about children getting infected with radical political Islam increased from 8.3% last year to 10% this year. These are kids being drawn into a world of hateful ideologies. In the UK alone, a staggering 3,026 children under the age of 15 were referred to the government's anti-terrorism programme last year. And it's not just referrals. Arrest rates among minors linked to extremism are at an all-time high too. Matt Jukes, the UK's counter-terrorism chief, put it plainly: we're facing an unprecedented crisis. His officers are arresting more children than ever before for radicalisation concerns. But how did we get here? The establishment seems to blame the internet and the social media for this, and I can't believe they're giving a free pass to the mainstream media. I mean, have they watched the BBC? Do they not remember how the British Broadcasting Corporation was encouraging people to go on Black Lives Matter protests? How they were calling violent protests against the police as largely peaceful protests? Only recently, a report found the BBC breached its own editorial guidelines more than 1,500 times during the height of the Israel-Hamas war. Blaming the internet is convenient, isn't it? But the truth is, the internet is just a tool, a reflection of the environments we've allowed to fester. The real problem is the mainstream media, the police and the establishment. For years they've pumped out sensationalist headlines and divisive narratives that pit communities against one another. Remember how the BBC unequivocally blamed Israel for bombing a children's hospital in Gaza and nearly set the world on fire, which it turned out to be not Israel, but it was a failed rocket fired by the Islamic Jihad group. It's that kind of reporting that radicalises people, which include children who are watching the news on the TV. Sure, the children see these fake news on the internet too, but blame those who make up the wrong narratives that induce radicalisation and not the platform where the news goes on to. Next, the police, our wonderful two-tier police that go to police the protests but don't understand what a UK government proscribed terrorist group is.
What does it all about, by the way?
It's a vigil.
For?
For
the death of the leader of Lebanon.
Right. Leader of Lebanon or leader of Hezbollah?
Hezbollah, that's it.
That's the one. I'm not
Hezbollah.
Sorry, I don't take a lot of political interest because I'm not allowed to. But yeah, Hezbollah.
So they were mourning leader of terrorist organizations.
Your opinion is up to you.
Well, Hezbollah is legally a terrorist organization.
Again, so your opinion is your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. It's the opinion of the government.
Okay, well, we're not allowed to take opinions.
Yeah.
Sorry?
We're not allowed.
We don't take opinions.
It's not an opinion.
We're just here.
It's not an opinion.
That's your opinion. That it's not
a legal fact.
Okay. That's the view that you stand on it. We don't take any views on this.
It's not a view. It's illegal.
Okay.
And you remember this picture from my previous videos? If you haven't watched the video, I'll put a link in the description. There's a prevent officer cuddling up in a panel with the representative of Iran's Ayatollahs, legitimising a terrorist regime. And finally, the establishment itself, decades of neglect, have created a breeding ground for terrorist umbrella organisations all over the UK. Hostile states that in 14 years of Tory governments set up charities, schools, cultural centres, places of worship where hate preachers preach unabated to the faithful that include children. Second generation children of immigrants who've forgotten why their parents fled the extremism in their home countries because no one dares to tell them about it in the schools. Instead of addressing these root causes, the establishment chooses to scapegoat technology and tighten surveillance on the wrong targets. We need to wake up. Radicalisation isn't happening in a vacuum. It's the product of a failing system, a system that divides rather than unites. The Five Eyes Alliance has issued their warning, but let's not be fooled. This crisis didn't come from nowhere. It's the consequence of a system that has neglected the real threat and goes after those who are sick of the establishment's two-tier policies. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. I always welcome a debate and hearing different points of views. And thanks for watching.